Greetings to all the learners. I am a faculty of biology at SRN International School, Jagatpura, Jaipur. Dear learners, today we'll be discussing the topic mitosis of chapter 10th, that is cell cycle and cell division, grade 11th of your NCERT textbook. So in this video, we'll be discussing each and every step of mitosis, that how a cell divides and it undergoes various steps. Now let's discuss about cell division. So cell division is the process by which a parent cell divides into two or more daughter cells. Cell division usually occurs as part of a larger cell cycle. In eukaryotes, there are two distinct types of cell division. A vegetative division, whereby each daughter cell is genetically identical to the parent cell, that is mitosis, and a reproductive cell division, whereby the number of chromosomes in the daughter cells is reduced by half to produce haploid gametes, that is meiosis. In cell biology, mitosis is a part of the cell cycle in which replicated chromosomes are separated into two new nuclei. Cell division gives rise to genetically identical cells in which the total number of chromosomes is maintained. In general, mitosis or the division of the nucleus is preceded by the S stage of interphase, during which the DNA is replicated, and is often followed by telophase and cytokinesis, which divides the cytoplasm, organelles, and cell membrane of one cell into two new cells, containing roughly equal shares of these cellular components. The different stages of mitosis altogether define the mitotic phase of an animal cell cycle. The division of the mother cell into two genetically identical daughter cells is what mitosis is. Meiosis results in 4 haploid daughter cells by undergoing one round of DNA replication followed by 2 divisions. Dear students, so as we know, the original cell is called the parent cell and the two new cells are called the daughter cells. Daughter cells are cells that are the result of a single dividing parent cell. Two daughter cells are the final result from the mitotic process, while 4 cells are the final result from the meiotic process or the meiotic process. For organisms that reproduce via sexual reproduction, daughter cells result from meiosis. It is a two-part cell division process that ultimately produces an organism gamete. At the end of the process, the result is 4 haploid cells. So cells have an error checking and correcting process that helps to ensure the proper regulation of mitosis. If errors occur, cancerous cells that continue to divide may be the results. So mitosis is the stage of the cell cycle that involves the division of the cell nucleus and the separation of chromosomes as well. The division process is not complete until after cytokinesis, when the cytoplasm is divided and the two distinct daughter cells are formed. So if we'll talk about the unicellular organisms, they reproduce asexually. So basically prokaryotes, or you can say bacteria, usually undergo a vegetative cell division known as binary fission, where their genetic material is segregated equally into two daughter cells, while binary fission may be the means of division by most prokaryotes. There are alternative manners of division such as budding. They have been observed. All cell divisions, regardless of organism, are preceded by a single round of DNA replication. For simple unicellular organisms, such as the amoeba, one cell division is equivalent to reproduction. An entire new organism is created. On a larger scale, mitotic cell division can recreate or can create progeny from multicellular organisms, such as plants that grow from cuttings. Mitotic cell division enables sexually reproducing organisms to develop from the one-cell zygote, which itself was produced by a meiotic cell division from gametes. After growth, cell division by mitosis allows for continual construction and repair of the organism. The human body experiences about 10 quadrillion cell divisions in the lifetime. Now we will discuss the replication and the distribution of DNA during mitosis. So most cells grow, perform the activities needed to survive, and divide to create new cells. These basic processes are known as the cell cycle. These are repeated throughout the life of a cell of the various parts of the cell cycle. The division portion is particularly important because this is the point at which a cell passes its genetic information to its offspring cells. In many situations, division also ensures that new cells are available to replace the older ones within an organism whenever those cells die. Prokaryotic cells, which include bacteria, undergo a type of cell division known as the binary fission, as discussed earlier. This process involves a replication of the cell's chromosomes, segregation of the copied DNA, and splitting of the parent cells. Basically, there is a splitting of the cytoplasm. The outcome of binary fission is two new cells that are identical to the original ones. In contrast to prokaryotic cells, eukaryotic cells may divide via either mitosis or meiosis of these two processes. Mitosis is more common, in fact, whereas only sexually reproducing eukaryotes can engage in meiosis, all eukaryotes, regardless of size or number of cells, can engage in mitosis. But how does this process proceed and what sorts of cells does it produce? So let's discuss about what happens during mitosis. So during mitosis, a eukaryotic cell undergoes a carefully coordinated nuclear division that results in the formation of two genetically identical daughter cells. Mitosis itself consists of 5 active steps or phases, you can say, that is prophase, prometaphase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. Before a cell can enter the active phases of mitosis, however, it must go through a period known as interphase. Now let's discuss about the centromere and the chromatids. So the identical sister chromatids, as you can see in the diagram over here, these are attached at an area in the middle and we are calling it centromere. When cells divide, sister chromatids separate and one goes to each new cell. This is what the identical sister chromatids are, and it is having a centromere in the middle. Now let's discuss about the chromosome number. So as we all know, every organism has its own specific number of chromosomes. So there are few examples, and these are: a human has 46 chromosomes, or you can say 23 pairs of chromosomes. A dog has 78 chromosomes or 39 pairs. A goldfish has 94 chromosomes or 47 pairs, whereas a lettuce has 18 chromosomes or 9 pairs. So these are few examples that you should know. Now let's discuss about the somatic cells. So all somatic body cells in an organism have the same kind and number of chromosomes. So there are few examples given over here. That is, human has 46 number of chromosomes. So as we all know that human is a diploid organism having 46 chromosomes. A human skin cell has 46 chromosomes, human heart cell has 46 chromosomes, and human muscle cell has 46 chromosomes. We all know this thing, right? Because a human is a diploid organism. I hope this thing is clear to you all. Now we are starting up with the cell cycle. So cell cycle is the series of events a cell undergoes to divide. The cell cycle is an ordered series of events involving cell growth and cell division that produces two new daughter cells, as we all know. And cells on the path to cell division proceed through a series of precisely timed and carefully regulated stages of growth, DNA replication and division that produces two identical cells. We can also call it clones. The cell cycle has two major phases, that is interphase and the mitotic phase. During interphase, the cell grows and DNA is replicated, and during the mitotic phase, the replicated DNA and cytoplasmic contents are separated and the cell divides. Right? We'll discuss about interphase now. So interphase is the phase where the cell undergoes normal growth processes while also preparing for cell division. In order for a cell to move from interphase into the mitotic phase, many internal and external conditions must be met. The three stages of interphases are G1, S and G2 phases. So let's discuss a little more about interphase now. So it includes all the three phases, that is G1 phase, S phase and G2 phase. So let's discuss about them one by one. So firstly we are discussing about the G1 phase, that is first gap phase. The first stage of interphase is called the G1 phase because from a microscopic aspect, a little change is visible over there. However, during the G1 stage, the cell is quite active at the biochemical level. The cell is accumulating the building blocks of chromosomal DNA and the associated proteins as well as accumulating sufficient energy reserves to complete the task of replicating each chromosome in the nucleus. Now we will discuss the S phase, that is the synthesis of DNA phase. Throughout interphase, nuclear DNA remains in a semi-condensed chromatin configuration. In the S phase, DNA replication can proceed through the mechanisms that results in the formation of identical pairs of DNA molecules, sister chromatids, that are firmly attached to the centromeric region. The centrosome is duplicated during the S phase. The two centrosomes will give rise to the mitotic spindle, the apparatus that orchestrates the movement of chromosomes during mitosis. At the center of each animal cell, the centrosomes of animal cells are associated with a pair of rod-like objects, the centrioles, which are at right angles to each other. Centrioles help organize cell division. Centrioles are not present in the centrosomes of other eukaryotic species, such as plants and most fungi. The last one is G2 phase or the second gap phase. In the G2 phase, the cell replenishes its energy, stores and synthesizes proteins necessary for chromosome manipulation. I hope this interphase is clear to you all. So these are the four given phases of nuclear division or mitosis that is directed by the cell's DNA. These are prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. Now we will discuss about them in detail. So the first stage is prophase. So during prophase or the first phase, the nuclear envelope starts to dissociate into small vesicles and the membranous or genels such as the Golgi complex or the Golgi apparatus and the endoplasmic reticulum fragment and disperse towards the periphery of the cell. The nucleolus disappears or you can say disperses. The centrosomes begin to move to the opposite poles of the cell. The microtubules that will form the mitotic spindle extend between the centrosomes, pushing them farther apart as the microtubule fibers lengthen. The sister chromatids begin to coil more tightly with the aid of condensin proteins and become visible under a light microscope. The second stage is metaphase. So during metaphase, the change phase, you can say, all the chromosomes are aligned in a plane called the metaphasic plate or the equatorial plate. It is a midway between the two poles of the cell. Here the sister chromatids are still tightly attached to each other by cohesin proteins. At this time, the chromosomes are maximally condensed. The next phase is anaphase. So during anaphase, it is also known as the upward phase. So here the cohesin proteins degrade and the sister chromatids separate at the centromere. Each chromatid, now known as the chromosome, is pulled rapidly towards the centrosome to which its microtubule is attached. The cell becomes visibly elongated or you can say oval shaped as the polar microtubules slide against each other at the metaphase plate where they overlap. Now we will discuss about the telophase. It is also known as the distance phase. The chromosomes here reach the opposite poles and begin to decondense or unravel, relaxing into a chromatin configuration. The mitotic spindles are diplomerized here and into tubules like monomers that will be used to assemble cytoskeletal components for each daughter cell. Nuclear envelope from around the chromosomes and nucleosomes appear within the nuclear area. This is what telophase is. The last step of mitosis is cytokinesis or the cell motion. It is the second main stage of the mitotic phase during which cell division is completed via the physical separation of the cytoplasmic components into two daughter cells. Division is not complete until the cell components have been apportioned and completely separated into the two daughter cells. Although the stages of mitosis are similar for most eukaryotes, the process of cytokinesis is quite different for the eukaryotes that have cell walls, such as the plant cells. In cells such as animal cells that lack cell walls, cytokinesis follows the onset of anaphase, a contractile ring composed of actin filaments forms just inside the plasma membrane at the former metaphase plate. The actin filaments pull the equator of the cell inward, forming a fissure. The fissure or crack is called the cleavage furrow. The furrow deepens as the actin ring contracts and eventually the membrane is cleaved in two. If we talk about the plant cells, a new cell wall must form between the daughter cells during the interphase. The Golgi apparatus accumulates enzymes, structural proteins and glucose molecules prior to breaking into vesicles and dispersing throughout the dividing cell. During telophase, these Golgi vesicles are transported on microtubules to form a phragmoplast or a vesicular structure at the metaphasic plate. There, the vesicles fuse and coalesce from the center towards the cell walls. This structure is called as a cell plate. As more vesicles fuse, the cell plate enlarges until it merges with the cell walls at the periphery of the cell. Enzymes use the glucose that has accumulated between the membrane layers to build a new cell wall. The Golgi membranes becomes parts of the plasma membrane on either side of the new cell wall. So dear students, that's all for this video. I hope you have understood each and everything properly. If you like this video, go share, comment and subscribe to the official YouTube channel of SRN International School, Jagatpura, Jaipur. Stay blessed, SRNians. Have a great day.